Marjorie Taylor Greene is resigning from Congress effective January 5th, 2026. Long story short, she has become disillusioned with the Republican Party. She has been the target of Donald Trump's ire over the last couple of days because of her vehement opposition to how Donald Trump and Mike Johnson have conducted themselves with the whole Epstein file saga, even though Trump did sign that into law, and we'll get to that a little later. She's been receiving hate, death threats, all kinds of shit because of Donald Trump. And she had a realization like, oh my God, these people are fucking scumbags. Before we get into the story, I don't really know what the consensus is on this decision. I'm not sure what people actually feel about it. On the one hand, I'm glad that she's resigning because it gives the Republicans an even slimmer majority in the House. But on the other hand, I'm kind of appalled. Like, you're so disillusioned with your party. Why are you giving up? Why aren't you fighting to remake the party in your image? Why don't you become one of the leaders of the non-MAGA Republicans? I don't understand that. And obviously, I really don't give a shit about how the Republicans conduct themselves. But as someone who is constantly at odds with the Democratic Party because of my beliefs and my worldview, I would never do what Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing. I feel like it is a defeatist approach. It is a losing approach because what is she going to do? Is she just going to go be a fucking lobbyist? Is she going to get a nice cushy private sector job? Probably. Like, I really don't understand the rationale behind this. But let's go ahead. Let's get on into it.
Until then, I'm going back to the people that I love, to live my life to the fullest as I always have, and I look forward to a new path ahead. I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026, and I look forward to seeing many of you again sometime in the future. May God bless you all, and may God bless America.
Is she retiring? She's 44 years old, I think. Why is she retiring from politics? Maybe I literally do not understand the rationale behind this. And obviously, like, we will get a little bit of a further glimpse into it because she did post something on Twitter. Actually, we should go ahead and read that. So let me pull up her closing statement, if you will. I guess that's what I'm gonna call it. Oh God, she posted. Oh no, okay, I got her statement. Hang on, I'm very, very unprepared right now because, of course, 10
Hi, everyone.
fucking minutes. Jesus Christ. Okay, her official statement. I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C., and never fit in. Americans are used by the political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other more. And the results are always the same. No matter which way the political pendulum may swing, Republican or Democrat, nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman. The debt goes higher, corporate and global interests remain Washington sweethearts, American jobs continue to be replaced, whether it's by illegal labor or legal labor by visas or just shipped overseas. Small businesses continue to be swallowed by big corporations. Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign interests. The spending power of the dollar continues to decline. The average American family can no longer survive on a single breadwinner's income, as both parents must work in order to simply survive. And today, many in my children's generation feel hopeless for their future and don't think they will ever realize the American dream, which breaks my heart. I ran for Congress in 2020 and have fought every day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first. I have one of the most conservative voting records in Congress, defending the First Amendment, Second Amendment, unborn babies because I believe God creates life at conception, strong, safe borders. I fought against COVID, tyrannical insanity, and mandated mass vaccinations, and I've never voted to fund foreign wars. Before we continue, what she said in this first slide is undeniably correct. Washington, D.C. is owned by corporate interests, big money, multimillionaires, multi-billionaires. And I'm glad that Marjorie Taylor Greene is recognizing this. However, I don't understand how you are a 44-year-old adult and did not come to this realization sooner. How did you live all of your 20s and your 30s not recognizing this? Because if you wound up in public office, you've always had some sort of interest in politics, I would assume. And yet, I can't help but think that she turned a blind eye to this because it was the Republican Party doing it. However, what caused her to flip her opinion is that she has been personally victimized as well. It is selfish of someone to not recognize this until it personally affects them, especially someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene, because you're involved in the political system. If you're a bystander and don't pay attention to politics and don't understand anything about it, I can understand how you wouldn't recognize what's happening. But if you're tapped into this shit, you have to know that everything about Washington, D.C. is rotten, but you chose to hold your tongue until you were personally affected by it. This is another thing that rubs me the wrong way. I don't do this show because, I do this show because I want to propagandize against the political system, not for the not for the betterment of my life, hopefully, but for the betterment of everyone else who lives in this country, of everyone beyond my immediate family members who are younger than me and may hold a sense of apathy towards the future. I do this for everybody else. I do this well because I enjoy doing it, but I don't try to behave selfishly when doing this show, nor would I ever try, nor would I ever behave selfishly if I were an elected official. This does seem very selfish to me, and maybe I'm being hard on Marjorie Taylor Greene just because of who she is and what her beliefs are and what her background is. But I would have similar smoke for a Democratic representative who said all of this same shit and just decided to give up. That's what you're doing here. You're giving up. You're recognizing that the system is flawed, that the system is broken, that the system does not represent the 99%. And instead of remaining in Washington, D.C., and fighting for a better future, you're walking away. I understand that she said she's looking to spend more time with her loved ones, and I definitely understand that, and I definitely empathize with that, and I do hope that Marjorie Taylor Greene does enjoy this newfound time with her family, but I can't help but still maintain that same thought that you're giving up on fighting for a better future. It continues. However, with almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly sidelined. We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly resulting in the House not working for the entire time, and we are entering campaign season, which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on. During the longest shutdown in our nation's history, I raged against my own speaker and my own party for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass a plan to save American healthcare and protect Americans from outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies. The House should have been in session working every day to fix this disaster, but instead, America was force-fed disgusting political drama once again from both sides of the aisle. My bills, which reflect many of President Trump's executive orders, like calling for a new census counting Americans only to draw new districts, making English the official language of the U.S., making it a felony to medically trans a minor, and other bills like eliminating capital gains taxes on the sale of your home and eliminating H-1B visas was just collecting debt. Wait, what the dude? That is a crazy sentence. This is also why, I just harbor so much resentment towards her because at the end of the day, she is still a disgusting person with disgusting beliefs. Medically transing a minor, come on, that's disgusting and dehumanizing language. That's also a fucking schizophrenic hallucination. That's how it is for most members of Congress's bills. The speaker never brings them to the floor for a vote. Many common Americans are no longer easily convinced by paid political propaganda spokespersons and consultants on TV and paid shows on social media obediently serving with cult-like conviction to force others to swallow the political party talking points because they know how much credit card debt they have. They know how much their own bills have gone up over the past 5 years. They actually do their own grocery shopping and know food costs too much. Their rent has increasingly gone up. They have been outbid by corporate asset managers too many times when they put in an offer to buy a house. They have been laid off after being forced to train their visa holding replacement. The college degree they were told to earn only left them in debt with no big six-figure salary. They see more homeless people than ever in their own community streets. They can't afford health insurance or practically any insurance, and they just aren't stupid. These are the people I represent and love because this is who all of my friends and family are. Common Americans. I have been blessed to represent the 14th District of Georgia for 5 years, which is filled with some of the most hardworking, kind-hearted, God-fearing, patriotic, hardworking American people you will ever meet. Good, regular, common Americans. It continues, like just a whole bunch of whatever. But she closes. Wait, what? Oh no, this is the third page. I'm not going to read all that. My fault. And then she closes, I will be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026. Before this, she says, my only goal and desire has ever been to hold the Republican Party accountable for the promises it makes to the American people and put America first. And I have fought against Democrats' damaging policies like the Green New Deal, by the way, that never went to a vote, so I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. Wide open, deadly, unsafe border policies, and the trans agenda on children and against women. With that has brought years of nonstop, never-ending personal attacks, death threats, lawfare, ridiculous slander, and lies about me that most people could never withstand even for a day. This is also rich because this is why I just okay. So there is an Associated Press article where it goes through her some of Marjorie Taylor Greene's conspiracies, and she's like, "Oh, I've been facing death threats and I've been facing lies." And there is literally a paragraph that says Green argued in 2019 that Representatives Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib weren't quote unquote official members of Congress because they used Qurans rather than Bibles in their swearing in ceremonies. I don't think Donald Trump used a fucking Bible when he got sworn in. There's that really famous clip of Jake Tapper on CNN where he was talking to, I think, he was talking to some Alabama political person, and he was like, Donald Trump swore on a Bible, and he's like, no, Donald Trump did not swear on a Bible. You don't have to swear on a Bible. You could swear on whatever the fuck you want. I could swear on a goddamn issue of Slam magazine with LeBron on the cover. This is what bothers me more. Again, it's the selfishness. Because everything in Marjorie Taylor Greene's statement is me, 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 me. None of this shit that she mentioned affected her up until this very moment. And now that it affects her, she can't take the heat. She all of a sudden doesn't want to do politics anymore. Probably because she realized that this shit is real. There are actual physical consequences. There are bad fucking things that happen to people because of a politician's decision or indecision. There are death threats that Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib also face on a daily basis, and you don't see any of them. You don't see them resigning because they have convictions and they have beliefs, and more importantly, they have a backbone. They're willing to fight for something. Marjorie Taylor Greene, like so many of her Republican colleagues, don't give a fuck about anything. They only care about the theater of politics. And that's why I'm having a hard time expressing any sympathy for her, simply because I don't think that she is deserving of it. The conspiracy section continues. Even before her election, Greene showed a penchant for harsh rhetoric and conspiracy theories, suggesting a 2017 mass shooting in Vegas was a coordinated attack to spur support for new gun restrictions. In 2018, she endorsed the idea that the U.S. government perpetuated the attacks on September 11th and mused that a so-called plane had hit the Pentagon. This one is... I'm not going to say anything, but I think you guys know what I'm saying. Like, she may or may not be in the ballpark with that one. But with the Las Vegas shooting, yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. Like, the United States government, I don't think has to. The United States government would never stage a false. I don't want to say would never. It's highly unlikely that the U.S. government is lobbying for stricter gun laws at the national level. She was once a QAnon sympathizer, an online network that believes a global cabal of Satan worshipping cannibals, including U.S. government leaders, operates a child sex trafficking ring. She unironically supported those very people in the cabal. During the pandemic, she drew backlash and apologized for comparing the wearing of safety masks to the horrors of the Holocaust. Oh, this might be her biggest hit is the Jewish space lasers. She also drew ridicule and condemnation after a conspiracy she speculated about on Facebook in 2018, in which she suggested a California wildfire may have been caused by quote unquote lasers or blue beams of light controlled by a left wing cabal tied to a prominent Jewish family. Like, oh God, it's so gross. Even when a Republican tries to do like something noble and backs away from the cause that they so fervently supported, they just can't fucking do it because they are just disgusting individuals. Enjoy your retirement, Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I hope you enjoy that some other fucking freakazoid in your district is most likely just going to take your fucking spot and be even more damaging to the American people than you are. As always, thank you guys so very much for coming to hang out. Everything I'm associated with is linked down below. Follow me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed any of the content. Both of those help out tremendously with the algorithm. If you're listening to this on Spotify, follow the show and leave a rating over there. As well as always, stay safe, stay sane, and I will see you in the next one.